Immerse yourself in the rapture of music. You know what you love. Go there. Tend to each note, each chord, rising up from silence and dissolving again. Vibrating strings draw us into the spacious resonance of the heart. The body becomes light as the sky, and you, one with the great musician, who is even now singing us into existence. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. All right. Little dramatic music. Can I hang this upside down? Ooh. I wish you guys could see that. That's pretty cool. I'm hanging the strum stick. We'll get back to this in a second. But I just discovered I could hang this up here where I hang the ukuleles, so that can stay out of the way. Stay there, don't fall down. Welcome, everybody. Nice to see you. Everything's sounding all right? I hope. It looks like it is. All right. Let's say hello. I see my buddy Ray is in from China, Guangzhou. Nice to see you again. I was just thinking about you. I was like, where's Ray? Hey, Ray, if you can, send me an email, kalanidas@gmail.com. All right? I'd love to know what's happening. Mick is here. Nice to see you. And Bill, nice and early. Making music easy. Yes, that's our theme today. And Roseanne is here. Welcome back, Roseanne. Thanks for, as always, for showing up. Urban Dervish is here. And Sienna, nice to see you. And Ray, as I mentioned, Neil's here. Hello. Did I say Urban Dervish? Yes, I think I did. I have a short memory, I guess. And Billy Bates is here. Bill Bradley is here. Any other Bills? Jesse James. Jesse, is it Jesse Simmons? Jesse James Simmons. JJS. All right. I think we're all caught up. All right. Nice to see everyone. So yeah, I just did a video a few days ago, and I published it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, definitely subscribe and hit the bell so you get notifications when I post a new video. I just did a video that I recreated a lot of that just right here just now. I think I used all the same instruments in addition to the Monolini over here, this little one, which I'll show you in a second. I've used it before, but just in case you're new, I'll go over that real quick. So yeah, the theme today is making music easy, and I want to touch on a couple concepts that are universal. Nothing super new. I mean, there's not really that much new, but there are a couple concepts that I think are worth remembering and reminding ourselves of. And I'll just get right into it. So perhaps the biggest concept is making music easy by reducing the barriers to success, vis-a-vis, limiting, what I would say is putting up limitations, limiting people's, we're not limiting people's creative freedom, but we're limiting the ways that they could go off track, right? For example, in Orff Schulwerk, one of the things we do is we start off with really like two notes. For singing, for example, we start off with la la. So mi, like for example, and we just do like a simple call and response, right? And then we might add la, so na na na, so la so mi, do re, and then add do and re later. So we start with a couple notes and then add another note and then have 5 notes. For a pentatonic scale, for example. And then we stick with that for a long time, just play pentatonic music. So that would be one example. Another example might be playing music to a single chord, which is what I just did, right? And in this case, I was playing over D minor, basically, right? A D minor chord. So what I did in this case is I tuned the ukulele to what we call an open tuning, and an open tuning is it's a tuning where if you strum all the open strings of a guitar, ukulele, whatever instrument, it sounds, usually it'll make a chord or a bordun, which is what this is. This is only 2 notes. The Monolini here, let me get that it's in the wide shot. So the Monolini right here, I've got just 3 different pitches, but 2 notes. So this is D and A and a D. Dun, dun. So when I strum it, you basically hear ooh, even though it's got ooh also in there. All right, so we call that a bordun, which is the 1 and the 5th, the 1st and the 5th degree of the scale. So those bottom notes on the ukulele. And then on the ukulele I tuned A, D, F, and A. So I retuned the top 4 string, the top 3 strings to a D minor. And then I've also got a Koshi chime, which is already D minor, just on its own. So I don't have to do anything with that. I just pick it up and it's already set. And by the way, the point of tuning, of doing an open tuning on the ukulele is that I don't have to use this hand at all, right? I can just hold it, right? So there's no fingering. And when you do that, and when you tune an instrument like that, you can just pass it off to somebody and say, hey, all you have to do is basically just touch the instrument and music will come out, right? And you can just fiddle around with it, just do anything, but just don't do any of this over here, all right? This is we're not doing this, even though people will still do that a lot of times. They can't resist, you guys. But if you say just hold it like that, or hold it like this, and then you can do anything you want over here. And it sounds good, right? And then the same thing with the strum stick. The strum stick is this instrument that it's basically like a dulcimer tuning. And what I did here, now this is a D, it's made for a D-A-D tuning. And this is a McNally strum stick, by the way. You can look it up and get your hands on one if you want. He makes a couple different sizes. This is like the tenor or the alto strum stick. I guess you'd call it a tenor. It's a slightly larger one. There's one that's a little smaller. Usually it's tuned to here, D-A-D. So kind of like the Monolini, right? And it's got a banjo-like sound, but what I did is I tuned the low string over here to a C. And the reason I did that is when I play up this fret, and you see how these are, you see the frets here, how they're all uneven, and they're kind of like a lot of space in between these? That's because unlike the ukulele, where can you guys see the frets? Oh, the frets on the ukulele on this one are black. So you can't see it. It's a black neck with black frets. That's not good. Let me grab this other ukulele over here. And try to be careful because this is a nice ukulele. I don't want to drop it. But you see how the frets on the ukulele are all even, right? Evenly spaced. Pretty much. I mean, not up the neck, but you see down here, they're all kind of even, as opposed to this, right? Which they're not even at all. The reason is on the ukulele, each fret is a half step, which equals what we call chromatic, right? That's like every note on the piano, white and black keys. But this one is diatonic, so it has fewer notes. And so we're skipping over some of the chromatic notes to have like a minor scale or a major scale. And when we place that over this background, what we get is a D minor scale sound. Especially if we start here. So even for somebody who doesn't know, how to play music really, or how to play string, you could just tell them, you could say, hey, you can hold this and do this. And then if you want, you can just put your finger right down here on the first fret and get that sound, the D-A-D, and then just go back and forth. Right? And then go up. Maybe to the fifth. Right? So again, it's setting limited choices so that the person can play any of those. They can choose any of those, and it's still fine. It's still okay. It sounds fine, right? It all goes together. And then let's see. I think that's everything. And then the native flute, I was playing a pentatonic scale, and I had two flutes in that example. I had the bass D flute, which I was playing mainly pentatonic, meaning 5 note, and then I had the upper D flute as well. And all those instruments just blend together, and they all work together. So even though it might look like I'm playing a lot of different things, they're all, in a lot of ways, they're kind of the same. They're like the same they're different versions of the same thing in a way. Does that make sense? All right. So if you guys have any questions about any of those, let me know. Drumming wise, I have the boogaraboo down here. Remember the boogaraboo? I just got a new head on that, and I was playing that kind of just lightly. And yes, I am in shorts today because it's hot out here. I also have the kick drum, and which is the farmer foot drum, which I broke out recently because I'm practicing for an upcoming gig where I'm going to be playing like a bass drum and hand drums and singing. All right, maybe we'll do that a little bit later. All right. So Roseanne is putting some names like McNally, Bob McNally, YouTube channel. Yeah, he has a lot on this drumstick, and I'm just scratching the surface what you could do with that. But let's listen again to the music that I made just in the looper, you know, with the instruments. Okay, and then we also had kashishi. But just with those instruments, here's what we got. Now, of course, that's what we call a static chord or a static harmony. So it's just playing over one, you know, basically one harmony. And I guess that would be the downside of an open tuning is on the ukulele. Without some practice, I wouldn't really know how to play chords with that tuning because all the chord shapes that I would play are for the regular tuning. And if I tried, let's just try it for fun. It's not going to sound good. It'll sound different, but if I tried to play, now this is a D minor chord, but if I made the D minor chord shape, you know, for the regular tuning, let's see what it sounds like. I'm going to predict it's going to be a little bizarre. Ooh. I kind of like it though. It sounds like, that sounds like in a video game, like when you find something, right? You're like, something pops out, you know. All right. I got a star. Ooh. Something like that. But that can, you know, again, you guys, it can be interesting to have an open tuning. And then play with like each string. All right, so you can still have a lot of fun playing music with an open tuning. That's just like a different tuning. It's not only good for open. In fact, you know, slack key guitar. That's what slack key guitar is basically. It's open tuning, and then people playing, you know, on top of it. All right. So how's everybody doing? I wanted to take a second and catch up. Yes, exactly, James. I was trying to go for the James Bond music, which it kind of alluded to. All right, you guys all good? Everybody good? I hope. Any news that you guys want to share? Anything fun happening? Just checking. All right. So keep all of those things in mind for when we do the Gimme 5. And I just remembered I did leave out, I played a little bit of bongos, which are over here. It's funny, the bongos look bigger than the congas, but that's just because the congas are like a meter farther back. But it's an interesting perspective, right? So yeah, I'm sort of I guess I could move him over here so it'd be a little easier to reach. But I kind of wanted to put him away from the mic too. Like the mic is right here, and then the bongos are up farther away because I'm just using one mic for the instruments. Believe it or not, you guys, except the ukulele is plugged in. But I'm essentially using one microphone, so I have to put things in a certain proximity to it so that something, so they're loud enough but not too loud. All right, and then, so Roseanne said you're going to see Jeff's band. That's cool. Jeff Tripoli, friend of the channel, and percussionist and composer, musician. That's awesome. And Sienna you're going to go to music. Oh, Sweetwater, yeah. Oh, you were planning to go there. Okay, but it's okay. We can just try again. Yeah, Sweetwater. I buy a fair amount of stuff from Sweetwater. So if you can go directly into their store, that's awesome. They're really great. Yeah, I like the Sweetwater people. And Urban Dervish is saying you got tickets for Soul to Soul on Saturday. Nice. That sounds great. All right. Well, I hope you guys have fun at those events. That's awesome. It's really great to see live music, you guys, isn't it? I'm always really inspired when I get to go out and hear a great band. It's so inspirational. And especially, I would say, for me, when I go to like a club to see a band because it's more intimate, like Baked Potato or some of the jazz clubs around here. Oh, and Ray, I was going to tell you, Simon Phillips is actually in town with his band this weekend. In fact, I think over the next 3 days they're playing at Catalina Bar and Grill. I don't have plans on going because it's a busy week for me. But Ray has Simon Phillips stories. He's a great, amazing drummer, amazing band. But yeah, the reason I'm saying that I like to go to see in a smaller venue is because you can really hear the musicians and see them. But actually, more importantly, and I'm not complaining, you guys, but I went to see Bruno Mars at like SoFi. Was it SoFi Stadium? It was one of these big arenas, pretty big arena, like where they play basketball. Like big, like 15,000 people or something like that, or maybe 20,000. There's a lot of people, and it was great. I mean, the show was great. Musicians were great. The show was great. My only complaint is that when I pay several $100s for a ticket to hear an artist, and again, I'm all for freedom, all right? I'm all for freedom, but the problem for me, and I realize that I'm getting older and I'm maybe a little curmudgeon-y about this, but I don't really want to hear the band plus 6 people singing around me. Because these people sing, and they're so happy, at the concert, these people, they're singing with the song. And look, I support that 100%, singing out loud with your favorite song, all right? I'm in support of that. However, as a consumer, not the greatest, because these people are not professionals. You know what I'm saying? So I do like live music, but I have to think twice now about going to a concert like that because it's in a big arena and the music's super loud, and bless their hearts, these people are singing their hearts out, but it's kind of like louder than what I'm trying to listen to. You know what I mean? And I'm going to stop talking about that. Do you guys know what I'm saying though? So in a jazz club, like if you go to a smaller venue, people are there to listen, and there's no like playing along with the band or singing along with the band or doing anything. You're not in the band, you're not playing, all right? You're not singing, you're not playing, you're listening. That's what I like. So we can hear, we can hear the artistry and nothing else. So that's just me, just saying. All right. And Mick is saying, home now, been having tons of fun this week. Tambourine shaker combinations, nice. Get some C-Pod soon. All right, nice. Join the team of Wacky Instruments. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Wacky Instruments and things that just sound a little bit different, as you can tell. Maybe one of these days I'll try to break out like a lot of the crazy sounds all at once. I usually like to just introduce one or two at a time. But I've got a lot of weird sounds. I think percussionists, you end up with, you end up with a lot of cool sounds, whether it's like metal stuff or different pods and rattles or whistle, all the whistles I have over here, or whatever, rubber chickens, By the way, you guys, before I forget, I did a little reading, as I did in the video that I made called Making Music Easy. And maybe we can do another reading from this. This is the Radiant Sutras, right? I've used this before. I was using this more when I was doing the Evolve videos, which I have on Kalani the Kalani Das channel. And I did my podcast, it's a podcast, but it's not really a podcast. I was doing a show called Evolve for a little while. I haven't been adding to it because I did like 20 episodes, and they sort of stand on their own. It's not like a weekly, it's not the news, in other words. So I did some Evolve podcasts, which I really enjoyed, and I'd often read from a text, either this one or a different text, or I'd write something myself. But this Radiant Sutras I really like. It's by Lauren Roche, and it's a translation of some very old Sanskrit writings, like poetry, and Lauren translated it into English. And I have a few that I like, but this whole book is it's just full of short, like, vignettes. So maybe I'll work this into the music later. If that's part of the Gimme 5, I'll tell you guys what I will do is that can be a 5.5 or 5.1. So we'll call that 5 plus. If you want to add a reading, then you can just say add a reading to the Gimme 5 or not. It's okay either way. I'm okay either way. That's up to you guys. All right. And guess what? I don't have a Guess the Sound ready, and I don't have a feature video because today was kind of busy and full. So I think we're just going to keep making music, you guys. In fact, I was talking. Okay, yeah. So I'm just going to go into neutral right here. Any questions? Do you guys have any questions? I did want to keep talking about how to make music easy. So I'm going to do that while you guys think about Gimme 5s maybe, because we're rounding the corner to 20 minutes till. I mean, we still have 25 minutes-ish. But let's think of that. Yeah, and Roseanne said the trine is one of her favorites. Yeah, I like the trine too. I was actually thinking about it as I was talking. All right, let me make sure I'm catching up. You said your friend J.W. Jones has a good story about that. Guy wanted to play along and chickened out when asked to come up on the stage. Oh, that was like my dream when I was a kid, I was taking drum lessons. And it's like a fantasy, right? And I think there's a good video though of somebody playing with. There was some band. It was like Ace, not Ace. I want to say it was like Guns N' Roses, or it might have even been Metallica or some band, and they invited a kid up to play, and he tore it up. He played drums and he like nailed it. I don't know what it was, some video. But that was like the fantasy, right? It's like, come on, oh, the drummer has a stomach ache. Is there anybody who can play drums? It's like, yeah. And by the way, don't ever do that. It's not easy, you guys. I tried to fill in for a guy on a session once, like a movie score session. Big mistake. Mainly because the drummer was like 6'2". I am not. I'm 5'9" on a good day. And the drums were not set up for me, and I sucked, you guys. I sucked. And not the time to be volunteering to help out by stepping in on a drum set when it's not your own drum set. Drum set's a very personal thing, I think. You got to set it up a certain way, and it's just not something you're going to go up and sound great on maybe without adjusting a bunch of things or rehearsing. So I don't recommend doing it, but if you want to, go ahead. But yeah, the point is, don't play along with the band in public, in a public setting. Just listen and enjoy. So yeah, Roseanne, let's go ahead and turn the corner to Gimme 5, and I'm just going to talk a little bit. I'm going to talk another minute about how to make music making easy. So we talked about fixed tuning, right? Instruments that have a certain fixed, like a kalimba or something, or the native flute 5-hole style where you play a pentatonic scale, or tongue drums are like that. Some of the slit drums, the tinkatongs are slit drums, or hand pans or tank drums. They all have like a lot of them have a certain configuration of notes that you can play as a scale or a melody, but you can also play them as chords, and they sort of all blend together. I call it the wind chime effect, right? The wind chime, which is kind of like this, right? You can play them all together, and they work well together. So that is one way we can make music making easy, and then we can provide people with things that they can do where they don't need to have a lot of technical skill. So that would be like playing the Monolini, for example, where all you need to do is reach and basically just pull, just reach and gently pull your hand back and strum something. I literally just hit the looper button with the ukulele. That's hilarious. It's magic, you guys. Or that would also be the ukulele. Even though I was doing finger picking, you can just have somebody strum, just like that. Now, one thing I will say that is also you could make it easy to play chords is that you can, when you have an open chord, when you have an open tuning, you can any fret that you bar. In other words, if you put your finger across all 4 strings, you're still going to have an open chord, right? Because the relationship is the same. You're just right. So I'm actually going to do it this way because it's a little easier to get more tension on there. But if I go like, now I know this takes a little more work, but But my point is, you could have just, maybe give somebody like a pen or they have those glass or brass slides or anything where you can hold all 4 strings down, and then you can use that, and then you can actually play, 2 or 3 different chords, all the same chord. In this case, a minor chord. But still, I think that's really empowering. It's really cool. All right, so let's see. Tim Land is here, our buddy Tim. And Tim is a composer and flute player also, and a participant of Flute Aloha. So hey, Tim, and good to see you. Yeah. So if you want to do the Gimme 5 today, you can do that. I'll give you the Gimme 5 option. So Roseanne will describe that, but basically you can just pick 5 instruments. And now I don't know if were you here from the beginning? When did you pop in here? I don't know. Yeah, Tim is a local, we're semi-local, right? Within an hour of each other, I think. And really, Tim, do you have an outlet where you publish any of your music? Because I always encourage everybody to share and to support each other. Yeah. So Gimme 5 choices are, we have the Monolini, we have bongos, we've got a conga over here, or I can maybe reach. We've got the boogadaboo drum. We've got a bass drum. I've got some assorted shakers and percussion, cowbells, shakers. We've got flutes, ukulele, strum stick, and if you wanted, I can I can also retune the ukulele, and we can do, I could do some chord stuff too. And then cajon, of course, right here. And that's kind of pretty much it, which is what I have right with me. So Tim, if you want to pick 5 things, and you have the option of also including a reading from the Radiant Sutras book, which I think I got one ready if you want it. I'm going to check it right now though, because some of these, you guys, are a little risque, I must say. They're pre-censorship by the pre-Western censorship, if you know what I mean. They're not like it's explicit, but they get a little racy. I don't know if I want to get into those, but these are good. Let me see. Okay, yeah, this one is not okay. As I'm checking it, I'm like, I don't think so, you guys. All right, flute, bongo, reading, chimes, shaker. You could reading is extra, but I mean you could pick one other thing, and But I'm okay with those 5 things. All right, this is kind of a long one, but I like it. Let me see. Yeah, let me see. All right, I'm going to do this page for the reading. Okay, my choice. All right, fair enough. Sounds good. All right, let's do it. We've got a good 15 minutes, so that'll give us time to do some music and then check in before. So what I'm going to do, yeah, maybe add a little. Yeah, I'll do that, Roseanne. I'll add a little bass on the cone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the Monolini because the bongos are so far away. Maybe here. Once you guys listen to this, while I'm fiddling around, I'm just going to move the Monolini and move the bongos closer. I'm going to try. I want to make things easy on myself. It's kind of like, as you get older, that sort of becomes a priority, right? Make things as easy as possible. Okay, so we've got bongos, flute, shaker, chimes. All right. So I could actually do a different, let me do a different flute. I'm kind of feeling the G flute. I don't play this one that often. I really like this flute. This is a G, Nigerian ebony, Brent Haynes flute, Wood Sounds flute. And let's see what we can do with this one. It needs a little playing. It doesn't get played that much. So let's do that. I'm going to shift these around so I can grab that. All right. And I think what I might do also, because I'm kind of feeling like I need something atmospheric. So I might start with a little wind whistle. Just for a little something. And I'm going to erase what I have in here, and we'll reset the looper. All right. Okay, you guys. Let's see what we can do, shall we? The one who is at play everywhere says, there is a space in the heart where everything meets. Come here if you want to find me. Mind, senses, soul, eternity, all are here. Are you here? Enter the bowl of vastness that is the heart. Listen to the song that is always resonating. Give yourself to it with total abandon. Quiet ecstasy is here. and a steady, regal sense of resting in the perfect spot. You who are the embodiment of blessing, once you know the way, the nature of attention will call you to return again and again. Answer that call and be saturated with knowing, I belong here. I am at home. All right. All right. A lot of knobs to run. Okay. What do you guys think? All right. Bill said it's calming and relaxing. Yeah, I hope so. So I tried to play the G flute in mode 4, which would be D minor, I believe. Is that right? Yeah, I think. Oh, no. No, that wouldn't be mode 4. It'd be C. That's why it had this weird sound, C minor. But I kind of liked it. It had a weird kind of haunting quality. So yeah, you get what you get. But yeah, thanks, Tim. I don't know why if I played an A flute in mode 4, it would be D minor. That's right. Which I could have done, but I kind of liked the way it sounded, the juxtaposition. And I think my neighbor's dog likes it too. That's what that bark just meant. He's like, yeah. All right. Well, thanks, Tim, for dropping in. And we're still going yet? Yeah. Okay. Appreciate you guys. Thanks to Roseanne as always for being here. I'll be here next week. And then I think the week after, I will be gone. Let me see if I can look it up right now, because I want to tell you guys in case. So I'll be gone. Yeah, the 19th. I will be out. I'm going to be at Solstice Flute Camp in Prescott, Arizona, and I'm going to be teaching there and playing some music, which I think next week I'm going to use you guys as guinea pigs, so I can practice. All right, so that's my commitment. Is next week I am gonna play. I'm gonna drum and sing and see. Thanks, Tim. Appreciate that. I'm gonna drum and sing together and try to do 3 songs. And actually, for patrons, I made a video for people who might accompany me at the concert. I'm rehearsing for a teacher concert. And I picked these 3 Babatunde Olatunji tunes. I'm going to take these off because I don't need them right now. I picked these 3 Babatunde Olatunji tunes, and I made a video for the potential people who would play with me, right? And I think what I'm going to do for my patrons is I'm going to make that video available. It's not really for public consumption, but I will make it available to patrons. And I'll make it free for all patrons. It's not going to be paid, but you do need to join. You would need to join and be a patron at patreon.com/Kalani, which you can do for free if you want. We do appreciate the support. Of course, many of you support us financially every month, and I appreciate that very much. But if you want to even join to check it out, and then you'll learn the songs, and you could sing along. The point is, you could sing along next week and sort of learn those songs and maybe, have fun doing that. All right? So, thanks, you guys. I'll see you next week. Let's go out on a little bit of music. And thank you for showing up. Appreciate it. I'm going to try mode 4 on an A flute, just for fun.
World Drum Club.